Today is Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018. I took a moment this morning to have coffee with the president of the GMU Weather Club, Jeremy Goldstein. I discussed his interest in meteorology and his opinions on climate change. So, Jeremy, tell me a little bit about your major at Mason.
So, atmospheric science is a fairly new major here. It started about 4 years ago. It's basically meteorology. It's one of two schools in Virginia that has it, except it's the only one that's considered atmospheric science. Most of them are considered meteorology, and the difference is it has what they call computational, which is more of the modeling and programming side of meteorology, which is a big part of it. But it basically includes everything from climate science to weather to modeling to programming weather, all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And so you're saying you're learning about climate science as well?
Yes.
Do you expand on that and tell me a little bit more about climate science and your experience with climate change and your personal feelings towards that?
So climate science can range from everything to what's going on right now, to what you expect, to what already happened. There's a saying in the field that climate is what you expect, whereas weather is what you get. So in the major, the intro classes are all climate-based, which is anything from learning about the structure of the atmosphere, learning about global warming, what causes it, the greenhouse effect. So it's definitely a big part of the major and a big part of the science. And I'd say that my view on it is it's definitely very relevant and very noticeable. It's definitely happening and definitely something that needs to take a bigger notice right now. But it's kind of getting thrown under the rug to other political issues at the moment.
That's very true. Do you think climate science and meteorology overlap, and are there any similarities with the two?
Definitely. I'd say that climatology and climate science affects meteorology in the grand scheme of things, and that meteorologists use climatology quite a lot. For example, sometimes when there's model disagreement for a storm, there's been a lot this winter, we rely heavily on our knowledge of past climate and climatology to take a best guess essentially of which climate data or which model data to lean towards. And climatology in general is just a very important aspect of it, and is going to play a big role in the future in weather and meteorology changing.
How do you think current TV meteorologists view climate change, or do they educate the general public on climate change, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I feel like it depends on who your broadcaster is, really, because nowadays most broadcast meteorologists are required to have a background in meteorology rather than just a communications background. So most of them are very aware of it and know that it's a thing. However, I'd say it depends on their audience. Around here, you'll see a lot more meteorologists are more willing to talk about climatology included in the forecast, whereas somewhere in the Midwest or a more conservative area, they may back off of it a little bit.
Do you think, in your future career as a meteorologist, do you plan to educate our public on the climate change issue? And because I know right now it is a serious problem, but as time goes on, it'll only expand. Mm-hmm. So how do you think that will change the field of meteorology?
Definitely, yeah. I definitely plan to try my best to try to communicate climate science and make it a more important part of the meteorology field, something people look at more. But like other issues, I almost think that it will take something really serious to get people to realize how bad the issue is. Just like, I know this is kind of a dark example, but like the shooting that just happened in Florida, suddenly all these kids are activists and it's really taking the spotlight again. It's going to take some big storm or some huge climatological issue to get people to realize, hey, we have to really start looking at this.